Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are doing good. All right. This is the installation video for Oracle 11G. All right. So, all you have to do, you come here to your browser and you type download Oracle 11G. All right. I know everybody created an account, so all you need right now is to download. Most of you will have a 64-bit computer, okay? And I know I showed you guys how to look at this, whether your computer is 64-bit. The best way to do it is you can just go right here on your tab, okay, and type PC. Okay, what happens is it brings you up the computer, and then you just go to properties right there. All right. So when you go to properties, it brings you up your entire properties for your computer, and you see system type 64-bit. So if your computer says 32-bit, so you know that you have to install the 32-bit software. All right, when you get to to Oracle. So let's get back to what we're doing. So on my screen right now, I see Oracle Database 11G Release 2, okay, for Microsoft Windows 64-bit. So I'm going to click on this first one. It don't matter anyone, it's going to do the same thing. All right. So it brings me to this Oracle screen. If you don't have an Oracle account, it's going to prompt you to set up an account. And I know everybody created an account. I saw it and everybody did a great job. All right. So there's two different files that you have to download here. All right. You have the one of two and the two of two. All right. What happened exactly with Oracle was this. All right. So Oracle was trying to put the entire file in the entire software in one file, but it was a lot. So they put it in two separate files. So what we're going to have to do is open one of those files, okay, get everything that's in that file and put it in the other file. All right. So that's how we're going to do it. So just pay attention. All right. So the first thing we'll do, we'll open the first one, one of two. All right. They are zip files. So what we have to do is one thing with Oracle software, and you have to remember this, you always have to accept the license agreement before you install or use any software that belongs to Oracle. So I'm going to accept the license agreement right here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit download. All right. So now it's downloaded. There's several ways you can do this. It's going to bring you to your Oracle page. All right. Now I do have an Oracle software account, so all I have to do is sign in, and it's just making sure that if you don't have an Oracle account, it will prompt you. As soon as I hit sign in, it doesn't even sign in, it automatically starts downloading at the bottom right here. So that's why you have to have an Oracle account. Now, for the sake of time, all right, what I'm going to do is I would go ahead and try to do both of them. All right, so there's two different files, like I said, that I have to get. You guys saw the first one. I'm going to get the second one as well. All right. The first one is downloading right there. All right. So the second one, very simple. Let me go back here and put download 11G again. So this is what we're looking at. So it's already downloading the one of two. This is very important. You have to remember, a lot of people make this mistake sometimes. Over the years, I've seen some students make that mistake. Okay. So you have to make sure that you're downloading the second one you're going to download is going to be the two of two. So I'm downloading the one of one right there at the bottom. So it clearly says it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the two of two. All right. So I clicked on that. So it's downloaded that one as well. All right. So it's downloading one of one and one of two. Now, sometimes it's better to let it download completely before downloading the other one. Okay. So I'm just going to give it some time, and I'm just going to pause it here just to save some time here. All right. All right. All right, guys. All right. So I'm back. So after downloading those files, you go right there on your start menu and just type File Explorer. So File Explorer is this little folder right here, and it pops up. And in your File Explorer, you'll see everything. But if you just go to your downloads right there, so let's say you just went to your downloads, you will see these two right here. Okay. All you do is you extract them. So you extract each of them just the way they are. For example, I'll go right here, just hit extract all, leave it the way it is, and just hit extract all. All right. What happens exactly is both of those files are going to be extracted into the respective folders, and each of them are just going to be blank like this without any zips on them. Okay, so there's not going to be any zips on each of them. So that's when you know they're extracted. Now, like I said before, one of those files has a few components, and the other one has a lot of components. So what you have to do is take the one with the smallest component and insert into the one with the most component. We'll do that in a little bit. Okay, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. All right, so okay, um, let's get back to this. So now we can see we have both of them right here. We have this one and then the second one. Okay, one of two and two of two. Both of them are unzipped. There's no zips on it. So if you click on this one, you get a database folder inside. Click on the database folder. This one has a setup. It means that this is usually the one that you run everything from. So if you go into the stage here, you'll see the components, and there's a lot more in here. Okay, so it's the other one that we need. This is something that you can remember just for your own sake. That the one of two has the most, and then the two of two is just the extras. So we're going to click on two of two, go to database, the stage, the components, and you will see all these files in there. So all you have to do right here is hold down your shift key, okay, select all of them, okay, and then you copy them. All right, you've copied everything. Then now we go to the one of one. All right, back to the one of one, go in here, stage, components, and somewhere here on the right side, I'm going to put my cursor. I'm going to right click and paste. Okay, what happens at that point is all those extra files that were in that two of two are also added into this one at this point. Okay, so we have everything that we need in this particular one. Now it's time for us to do what? To run our setup. Now, when you look here, there is a setup file, okay, in your one of one. So all you have to do, if you go in here, you see the setup, which is right here, okay. All right, so we're gonna do that in 1 second. All right. All right, so we're gonna get started here with the most important thing. We're gonna start um, our setup. Okay, so to do our setup, all I have to do is come here, open the one of one, go to database and setup. Okay, the first thing that happens, this happens to your screen. All you have to do is say yes, you wanted to make those changes to do a setup. It's going to start launching the Oracle Universal Installer. The Oracle Universal Installer, what does it do? It installs the software in your computer. So it's going to pop up like that. See the little screen right there, loading setup, and there you go. So at this point, are you sure you want to continue? You say yes. It's going to bring up a box just like this. All right. So, and from there, it's a graphical user interface. All you have to do is follow directions. Okay. Follow directions all the way to the end. This is very important. Okay, so this part right here is going to be is going to be key. So the Oracle Universal Installer is what installs everything on your on the software, but it calls something called the database DBCA that's going to create a database for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue here in a second. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna proceed here. So we have this in this first box right here. It tells you to put in an email, so you should get a bunch of junk. You don't need that. All right, so you don't have to check this. So uncheck this. You don't wish to receive anything, and hit next. Okay, it will give you this error message here just to make sure that, oh, are you sure this is what you want? You say yes. It moves through that. Now it says create and configure a database. All right, this is a graphical user interface. All you're doing is following directions. Okay, I have this background here. It's fine. You might not have that. I just have focus on the small box in the middle. So I click next on create a database. All right, desktop class, which is my particular home desktop. If I was at work, maybe I'll do a server class, but yeah, it's just desktop class. All right, so I hit next on desktop class. A lot of this stuff is filled in. All right. For your first database, usually it would want you to call it something like ORCL, okay, which is just ORCL, which would be the database name. So usually like ORCL, something like that. You can leave it like that, ORCL, okay. Or let's say we'll call it ORCL 2020 in this case. All right. Now, uh, for password. One of the good habits is always use your first name with a capital first letter, okay, and your year of birth, and maybe some kind of a dollar sign or some kind of a special character. So in my case here, I'll do that. All right, I'll put a password. Um, I put my year of birth and a special character. All right, I do the same thing. All right, password and a special character. You have to verify it to make sure the password is right. Okay. So, and then you hit next. So there's nothing much you have to do on this first stage. So right here, it shows you the different things that are going to be happening, and you hit finish. And what happens at this point is your installation begins. All right. So all these different things are your installation. All you have to do here is just watch it. All right. Depending sometimes on your computer speed, it will take a longer time. Sometimes it will take a shorter time. It just depends. So just pay attention. Okay. Make sure everything is going on smoothly. You can grab a cup of coffee or tea at this point. All right. So I got my tea right here. Très délicieux. Okay. So thé avec du miel. All right, so just pay attention, make sure everything is going on smoothly. So for the sake of the video, okay, I'm gonna pause this. All right. All right, so let's proceed here. So what's gonna happen is now this box will appear on your screen. It's just a firewall that most people will have. So all you have to do is just click on allow access, and guess what happens? All right, your thing continues right there. So you will see that happen. Just click on allow access, and it will keep doing what it was doing. All right, no need to panic. It's at the 100% right now. So all the software is installed. Okay, so all right. So I'm getting all this glitchy stuff. You guys don't worry about this part. Uh, okay, let me pause this for a second. Yep. So we're continuing here. It's going on still. Uh, Even though it's at the 100% at the top right here, do not turn it off because it's still doing stuff. It's still there's different things that are happening. You can clearly see right here. It says Oracle Database Configuration Assistant. That's what you use to create the database. So right now it's creating the database. So what happens with the installation? it also creates a database for you that you can play with and practice and do other things with. Okay, so it's very important to make sure everything is installed and everything goes on as smoothly as possible. Don't interfere with the process at all. Be patient. It might take a little longer than it's supposed to, but just don't worry about anything. Okay. All right. Okay. We're still running. It's still installing. Okay. Let's give it a moment. This is the crucial part. As soon as you get the software, you can start doing a lot of things. So it would give you a software that includes every different thing that you need. The good thing about this particular Oracle software, it also comes with some schemas. All right. The schema are just tables that are owned by a certain user that you can use to practice. So you don't have to create all those. So I would definitely unlock at least one of those schemas, which is a group of tables. I'll unlock the HR schema because it would be a good one to use to practice. Because I mean, HR, everybody knows about HR. You have employees and departments and all the likes. So it'll be a good sample schema or group of tables that we'll use to practice. Okay, and I'll explain that to you guys more in depth as the class goes. All right. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to pause this. Also, it doesn't seem like a lot is happening right here, but things are happening still. You can click on the details right here if you want to see what's going on. So these details will show you a little bit more what's happening. You can scroll down and you'll see there's a lot more things happening in here, you know. So start database, Oracle database configuration assistant. So it's creating the database stage right now. All right. So I'm still just going to be patient and I will pause this for the sake of the video. Okay, so now we're looking at what we're looking at here. So this is what comes up. You see a small box like this. All right. So what you want to do is it says password management. You want to click on that password management and you'll see all these schemas. These are the tables that I was talking about. All right. So you can just unlock one of them. Let's look for the HR. When you see the one that's HR right here, all you want to do is it says lock account. You want to unlock the HR account by clicking that right there. All right. And then the new password, just type HR. Okay. And then confirm it HR. All right. And then you hit OK right there. And then hit yes. And then hit OK. All right. That's it. All right. You're done with your installation. Everything is done at this point. So what do? Everything looks good. All right. So at this point, all you have to do is you can close out, you can close this right here. Okay. And on your computer, you have a little Windows button. Just hit the Windows R and then type in CMD right there and hit OK. Now, right here, what you want to do is this is how you're going to connect to the database. Okay, so this is something that we'll do in class. All right, I'll do this with you guys, but if you install it up to the point that I just did, that's good enough. All right, but if you haven't, you can come right here and you can set your environment. So you can set your Oracle underscore your Oracle underscore SID, okay, in capital letters, is equals to ORCL. I think I said 2020, something like that. That's what I called it, I think. All right, you hit enter. Now you echo it to make sure that it's set correctly. Echo Oracle C. All right. So I use a lot of Windows and Linux. So sometimes I mix the commands. All right, Oracle underscore SID. and that percentage sign again, it shows you that that's that right there. So now to connect to database, you do SQL plus, okay, forward slash assistdba. That's what you always use to connect to the database. And then you hit enter. It says you connected. To check, you just do select name from v dollar database. Okay, semicolon at the end. Um, like I said, so that's basically how we do that. So there it is. Select name from v dollar database, and you see the name of your database appears right here. This is just a query. All right. So we're gonna practice this in class, and but basically that's just it. Okay, you can practice as many queries as you want. This V dollar right here, V dollar database is just a view. There's a lot of different views that you can query. One of the things that you have to learn is that whenever you want to query a view or a table, the best thing to do is to describe them. Okay, so you can do describe just like that. V dollar database. Okay, V dollar database gives you all the columns, okay, that you can query. So these are some of the columns that you can query. So for example, I can look at these are the columns right here on the left side, and on the right side are the data types. I can query the name of my database, when it was created, and things of that sort. Okay. One of the important things that you guys will also have to learn is the log mode. All right. So let's see what the log mode is. So basically to write a query, it's very simple. You select, okay, name, just the way it's written there, comma, created, all right, put a comma, always put a comma after any column, all right, log underscore mode, all right, from, now you put the name of the view or the name of the table. In this case, we're using V dollar database that we described. V dollar database. Okay. So what is going to happen is it's going to give us name, when it was created, and the log mode. Okay. The log mode, it will tell us if it's in archive log mode or in no archive log mode. All right. So right here, the name of the database is Oracle 2020. It was created on the 14th of October 2020. And the log mode in this case is no archive log. All right. So that's a complete installation for 11G R2. Okay. Very simple, and I know there's a lot of moving parts, but the most important thing, just a small recap, is you created your account, Oracle account. That's the first thing you have to do, and you go to Google and you look for whatever version of the database you're trying to download. Make sure you pay attention to the byte. If your computer is 32 bits, 32 bits, you download the 32-bit version. If it's 64, you pick the 64. And for this particular one, there were two files. You make sure you download both of the files. You'll be one of two and two of two. So after downloading both of those files, they're going to be zipped files. So they're going to come in as zip files. When you get those zip files, what you do is you go into your file explorer and you will see both zip files there in your downloads folder, and all you do is you extract it just the way it is. After extracting both of them, you'll find out that if you go to the stage and the components of the one of two, it has a lot of things in there. But in two of two, there's just a few files in the components. You copy all the files in the components of two, okay, and then you go into one of two and paste them in the components. Just go somewhere on the right and you right click and paste it in it. So all those files are going to be in the same location at that point. Then you go now back to your one of two and you run the setup, okay, and just follow it from there. So just follow directions. The first thing would ask you if you want Oracle to send you a bunch of information. If you give them your email, make sure you uncheck that. You put the name of your database that you want. ORCL is a good name. Most people's first database, you come ORCL. You put a password that you can remember. Make sure it's a matching password. And I usually suggest your name, well, at least the capital letter to start, your date of birth, and some kind of a unique character. Okay. And then you follow the rest. And after everything is done, the universal installer will call the database configuration assistant, which installs and creates the database. Hey guys, this is Alonge with Oracle with EM. I'm very excited about the first video. That's just the installation video for Oracle 11G. I hope everybody enjoyed it, and I'll keep putting out videos on a regular basis with about everything Oracle. If you liked the video and you enjoyed the video, go ahead and put in some comments and like and subscribe. So I'll be bringing video on a regular basis, and I look forward to reading your comments. Have a great day. Bye.